Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. You don't need a lifetime to change. You don't even need a year. Sometimes all it takes is a week, 7 days of intentional living, 7 days of radical faith, 7 days of discipline and courage to completely shift the course of your life. Change does not wait for convenience. Change does not wait for perfect timing. Change responds to action. And I declare to you today, if you dare to give just 1 week of your life fully committed to transformation, you will never be the same again. You've been waiting for too long, waiting on the right opportunity, the right resources, the right people. Let me tell you something. Your miracle begins the moment you decide you are done with excuses. 1 week of focus can undo years of delay. In 7 days, created the heavens and the earth. In 7 days, you can create new habits, new patterns, new standards for your life. In 7 days, you can discipline your mind to think differently, your heart to feel differently, and your hands to work differently. I want you to imagine what would happen if for 7 days you silenced every negative voice, turned off distractions, poured your energy into becoming who you were destined to be. Your future would not just shift, it would accelerate. Day by day, step by step, moment by moment, the momentum will build. Monday, you'll make a decision. Tuesday, you'll take action. Wednesday, you'll push through resistance. Thursday, you'll begin to see progress. Friday, you'll feel your strength rising. Saturday, you'll see the fruit of your discipline. And by Sunday, you won't recognize the old version of yourself. Hear me, transformation is not reserved for the privileged. It is available to anyone who will dare to commit. This week could be the line in the sand where you say, no more going back, no more repeating cycles, no more wasting my life. 7 days. That's all it takes. Give God 7 days of faith, give yourself 7 days of focus, and then give your destiny 7 days of determination. When you do, you'll walk out of this week with clarity, power, and momentum that no obstacle can stop. Change is not as complicated as people make it out to be. Often think it takes years of planning, endless resources, or perfect conditions to shift the direction of our lives. The truth is simpler and more powerful. Change starts with a decision. One choice can alter the trajectory of your destiny. Yes or one no can unlock doors you never imagined possible. Every great transformation you've ever witnessed, every story of breakthrough you've ever heard began when someone made up their mind. They reached a point where they said, enough is enough. I will not stay here. I will not keep repeating this cycle. I will not live beneath my calling. That moment of resolve is where change is born. You see, indecision is one of the greatest thieves of destiny. As long as you waver between options, as long as you postpone choices, you remain stuck in the same place. When you finally decide, when you set your heart, your mind, and your spirit in agreement, nothing can stand in your way. Think about it. The difference between success and stagnation, between breakthrough and breakdown, is not always talent, education, or opportunity. Many people have those things and still fail to progress. The difference is decision. Decisions shape destiny. Decisions define identity. Decisions determine the quality of your life. When you decide, you draw a line in the sand. You declare that you will not go backward. You create momentum in your life. Decision gives birth to discipline, and discipline creates transformation. Without decision, discipline has no foundation. Without decision, change remains a dream instead of becoming a reality. And let me tell you, change doesn't wait for your convenience. It will never arrive when life feels comfortable, when everything is perfectly aligned, when you feel ready. Change demands courage. It asks you to step out of your comfort zone, to risk the unfamiliar, to confront your fears. That is why decision is so powerful. It shifts you from hesitation to action. When you say, I've decided, you silence the voices of doubt. You take authority over excuses. You rise above procrastination. Decision says, I don't care how many times I've failed, I will try again. Decision says, I don't care who walked away, I will keep moving. Decision says, I may not see the whole picture. I will take the next step. Look at the lives of people who inspire you. Behind every success, there was a decision point. The entrepreneur who built an empire first decided to believe in their vision when no one else did. The student who rose from poverty to achievement first decided that education would be their way out. The person who overcame addiction first decided that freedom was worth the fight. Decision is the spark that lights the fire of change. Here's the challenge. Many people confuse desire with decision. Desire says, I wish my life were different. Decision says, I will do what it takes to make it different. Desire is passive. Decision is active. Desire hopes. Decision commits. Desire waits for opportunities. Decision creates them, and even when obstacles come, your decision keeps you standing. Because as a true decision is not fragile, it does not break under pressure. A true decision is unshakable. It anchors you in storms. It sustains you in trials. It carries you through seasons of doubt. You may be standing at a crossroads right now. You may be torn between staying where it's safe or stepping into the unknown. Hear me, your destiny is too important to live in hesitation. Your calling is too great to waste on indecision. Your future is waiting for you to choose. Change begins the moment you decide that you will no longer settle for less than what you are capable of. Change begins the moment you decide that your pain will not be wasted, your past will not define you, and your present will not imprison you. Change begins the moment you decide that your future will be greater than your history. Because when you decide, something shifts. Heaven takes notice. Earth begins to align, and suddenly what once seemed impossible becomes possible. Not because the circumstances changed, but because you changed. Your life does not transform when the calendar changes, when the economy changes, or when people around you change. Your life transforms when you decide to change, and once you decide, nothing, no fear, no failure, no force can stop you from walking into your destiny. So don't wait another day. Don't postpone the life you were created to live. Today, right now, make the decision that will change everything. Say it with conviction. I have decided I will no longer lie beneath my potential. I will no longer be bound by fear. I will no longer delay my destiny. Today I decide to change. 7 days may not sound like much. 7 days can come and go before you even realize it. A week can feel ordinary, routine, and repetitive. But if you understand the power of time, if you recognize the authority that rests in each day, you will never underestimate what can be accomplished in just 1 week. 7 days can set a new standard for your life. Why? Because a standard is not built overnight, but it is birthed in moments of consistent choice. A standard is established when you declare that the way you've been living is no longer acceptable, and you commit yourself to a higher way of thinking, acting, being. And the good news is you don't need years to start. 7 days of intentional action can shift the trajectory of your life and set you on a new course. Think about it, 7 days is enough to create momentum. 7 days is enough to train your mind to think differently. 7 days is enough to discipline your body, your habits, your words, and your focus. 7 days of radical commitment will show you that you have the power to rise above every excuse, every limitation, and every pattern that has held you back. You see, the problem is not always that people can't change. It's that they never give themselves a period of undivided focus. They think transformation requires years of striving, so they delay it. They say, one day I'll get better. One day I'll take control of my life. One day I'll build new habits. But one day never comes because they never start with 1 week. 7 days is not just a measure of time. It is a cycle of creation. In 7 days, God framed the heavens and the earth. In 7 days, the order of the world was set in place. If 7 days were enough to establish the structure of creation, then 7 days are enough for you to establish the structure of a new life. The first day you decide to change, something awakens inside you. Your spirit rises with determination. The second day, you begin to discipline your body and mind. The third day, resistance shows up, old habits whisper. Old patterns call, but if you push through, you discover strength you didn't know you had. By the fourth day, progress becomes visible. The fifth day, you feel momentum pulling you forward. The sixth day, you begin to realize this is no longer a temporary effort. It is a lifestyle. And by the seventh day, you stand on a new level of clarity, courage, and consistency. This is how new standards are set, not by talking about change, not by dreaming about change, but by committing to change day after day until it becomes your new reality. 7 days is not the end of the journey, but it is the foundation. It proves to you that you have what it takes to start. It shows you that discipline is possible. It teaches you that breakthrough begins with consistency. What are standards? They are the lines you refuse to cross, the boundaries you refuse to compromise, the values you refuse to abandon. The standards define the quality of your life. If you lower your standards, you lower your results. If you raise your standards, your results rise with them. And here's the secret: standards don't change when you wish for them to change. They change when you enforce them with action. 7 days of consistent action raises the bar. Maybe your old standard was procrastination. Always delaying, always saying tomorrow. In 7 days of action, you prove to yourself that you are capable of being consistent today. Maybe your old standard was negativity, always focusing on what's wrong. But in 7 days of gratitude and positive declarations, you set a new atmosphere in your mind. Maybe your old standard was unhealthy living, but in 7 days of discipline, you train your body to crave what is good. 7 days creates a new rhythm. Rhythm creates consistency, and consistency sets a new standard. Once you see yourself living at a higher level for 7 days, you won't want to go back to who you used to be. Because once you've tasted freedom, mediocrity loses its flavor. Once you've experienced progress, stagnation becomes unbearable. Once you've glimpsed your potential, you cannot settle for less. 7 days is powerful because it gives you a preview of your future. It shows you what life looks like when you rise above excuses. It reveals the strength you've been carrying all along. It silences the lie that change is impossible. 7 days is long enough to birth a new mindset, short enough to be attainable. And when you succeed in 7 days, you build confidence that propels you into 7 weeks, 7 months, and beyond. Don't underestimate the small beginnings. 7 days may feel like a small step, but it is a decisive step. 7 days proves to your heart, your mind, your spirit that you can do hard things. 7 days says, I will no longer let life control me. I will take control of my life. 7 days says, I will not wait for change to come. I will create it. The truth is, everyone sets standards, whether consciously or unconsciously. Some people set low standards, settling for less, tolerating mediocrity, repeating toxic cycles. Others set high standards, striving for excellence, demanding growth, living with purpose. The difference between the two is not intelligence, talent, or luck. It is decision and consistency. All it takes is 7 days to start raising the bar. So I challenge you, give yourself 7 days. 7 days of faith, 7 days of discipline, 7 days of commitment. Watch how your perspective changes. Watch how your strength grows. Watch how your confidence rises. Those 7 days will not only set a new standard, they will unlock a new version of you. 7 days is not just about the actions you take. It's about the identity you embrace. When you complete 7 days of intentional living, you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a creator of destiny. You stop believing you are powerless. You start believing you are unstoppable. That shift in identity is the key to transformation. And once that new standard is set, it becomes the baseline of your life. You will no longer allow yourself to sink below it. You will no longer accept what you once tolerated. You will no longer excuse what once held you back. You will walk forward with authority because you have proven to yourself that change is possible. 7 days can change how you think. 7 days can change how you speak. 7 days can change how you act. 7 days can change how you see yourself. When you change yourself, you change your world. So do not underestimate what 1 week can do. Do not despise the small steps. Do not delay because you think it takes too long. All it takes is 7 days to set a new standard that can redefine the rest of your life. Change does not come in one giant leap. Transformation is not born in one dramatic moment. Destiny is not achieved by one single act. It is the daily steps, the small, consistent choices, the repeated commitments that build momentum and carry you into the life you were created to live. Too often, people wait for a miracle moment, a sudden breakthrough, a flash of opportunity, a burst of inspiration that will change everything at once. They think transformation will arrive like lightning. But the truth is, the greatest power is hidden in the small, steady steps you take every day. That is where momentum is built. Momentum is a force. Once it starts moving, it becomes difficult to stop. Momentum multiplies your effort, amplifies your discipline, and magnifies your results. But momentum does not just appear, it is created through repetition. Each day you show up, each day you take one step forward, you add weight to the wheel of progress. At first, it feels heavy, slow, and almost impossible to push. But with each step, the wheel begins to turn more easily. And one day, without even realizing it, the momentum is carrying you forward. That is why you must never despise the power of a single day. Each day is a seed. Each day carries potential. Each day is an opportunity to either strengthen your habits or weaken them. If you take one step today and another tomorrow, you may not see immediate transformation, but what you are building is momentum. And once momentum takes hold, carry you farther than you could ever go on sheer willpower alone. Success is not built in a day, but it is built daily. Every single day matters. Every decision adds weight to the direction of your life. When you consistently choose discipline over distraction, focus over laziness, faith over fear, you are not just making isolated choices, you are building momentum. And momentum will take you places that motivation alone cannot. Motivation is fickle. It rises and falls with moods, circumstances, and feelings. But momentum is steady. Momentum is reliable. Momentum carries you even on days when you don't feel like moving. Momentum keeps you moving when motivation fades. That is why your daily steps are so important. They create momentum that outlasts them. Picture a runner starting a race. The first few strides are heavy. Their body is adjusting. But as they continue step by step, their rhythm develops, their breathing stabilizes, and their speed increases. That is the power of momentum. It makes hard things easier because consistency builds strength. In the same way, your daily steps toward change may feel difficult at first. Waking up early may feel impossible. Breaking a bad habit may feel overwhelming. Building a new discipline may feel painful. But if you commit to daily steps, momentum will kick in. What once felt hard will begin to feel natural. What once seemed impossible will become second nature. This is why people often fail at change. They try to do too much too fast. They overwhelm themselves with massive goals, and when they stumble, they give up. But if you focus on daily steps, you remove the pressure of perfection. You are not trying to finish the race in one day. You are simply taking one step today and another tomorrow. And over time, those steps add up to miles. Momentum is not built by intensity, it is built by consistency. Intensity is impressive, but it fades. Consistency, however, compounds. Single intense workout will not transform your body, but daily movement will. One day of saving money will not create wealth, but consistent saving will. One day of prayer will not change your life, but daily prayer will transform your spirit. The compound effect of daily steps creates unstoppable momentum. When you look at people who have achieved greatness, it is tempting to believe they took one giant leap. But if you look closer, you'll see their success was built one step at a time. The author who writes bestsellers did not write them in one night. They wrote page by page, day after day. The athlete who wins championships did not achieve it in one moment. They trained daily, consistently building momentum until victory was inevitable. And here's the beauty of momentum. Once it's built, it begins to work for you. At first, you are pushing yourself forward, forcing yourself to stay consistent. But once momentum gathers, it begins to pull you forward. It becomes harder to stop than to keep going. That is when you know you've shifted, when progress is no longer a struggle, but a rhythm. Momentum can work in both directions. Positive daily steps build positive momentum. Negative daily choices build destructive momentum. Every day you skip discipline, every day you indulge distractions, every day you ignore your purpose. You are also building momentum, but it is pushing you downward instead of forward. That is why daily steps matter so much. They are not neutral, either building you up or breaking you down. You may not notice the change on day 1. You may not notice much on day 2. But by day 10, by day 20, by day 30, you will look back and realize how far momentum has carried you. The small steps you thought were insignificant will have created a wave of transformation. That is why you cannot afford to quit, because quitting resets momentum. Every time you stop, you lose the force you were building. It takes longer to rebuild than it does to continue. Even when progress feels invisible, keep stepping, because momentum is being built behind the scenes. And when it reveals itself, it will come suddenly, carrying you farther than you ever imagined. So stop waiting for one dramatic moment to change your life. Stop waiting for lightning to strike. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. Begin today. Take one step and then another, because your daily steps are not just moving you forward, they are building momentum that will carry you into your destiny. Discipline is the bridge between desire and fulfillment. It is the connector between vision and reality. You can dream of greatness. You can pray for breakthrough. You can speak words of faith. But without discipline, your destiny will remain out of reach. Discipline is the magnet that pulls the promise of tomorrow into the actions of today. Talent will get you noticed, but only discipline will keep you standing. Inspiration will get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. Excitement will give you a spark, but only discipline will build a fire. Discipline is the daily commitment to do what is necessary, not just what is convenient. And destiny responds to that commitment. Many people confuse discipline with punishment, but discipline is not punishment. Discipline is training. Discipline is structure. Discipline is self-control. It is saying no to what weakens you so you can say yes to what strengthens you. Discipline is not your enemy. It is your ally. It may feel uncomfortable. It is the discomfort that builds capacity, and capacity is what carries destiny. Think about a seed. A seed carries potential unless it is disciplined, planted in soil, watered regularly, exposed to light. It will never grow into the tree it was meant to be. Destiny works the same way. You can carry incredible potential inside you, but unless you submit to the discipline of development, that potential will remain buried, never reaching its fullness. Discipline is what transforms potential into purpose. It is what sharpens your gift, matures your character, and prepares you for opportunities. Without discipline, doors may open, but you won't be ready to walk through them. Without discipline, success may come, but you won't have the strength to sustain it. Discipline doesn't just attract destiny, it protects it. Destiny is drawn to those who can be trusted with responsibility, and discipline proves your trustworthiness. When you can discipline your time, you prove you are ready for greater tasks. When you can discipline your emotions, you prove you are ready for greater relationships. When you can discipline your habits, you prove you are ready for greater opportunities. Discipline is the language destiny understands. Too many people sabotage their own future by refusing to embrace discipline. They want the glory without the grind. They want the crown without the cross. They want the prize without the process. But destiny does not bow to wishful thinking. Destiny responds to disciplined living. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. You will stumble. You will make mistakes. But discipline says, even when I fall, I will rise again. Even when I miss a step, I will not abandon the journey. I will stay committed to the process. Discipline is the resilience that refuses to quit. Consider the athlete training for a race. The race itself may last minutes, but the preparation takes months or even years. The training requires discipline. Waking up early, practicing when tired, pushing when uncomfortable. Without that discipline, the athlete cannot perform at their highest level when the moment of destiny arrives. Your life is no different. Discipline prepares you for the race of destiny. Destiny is not random. It is attracted to discipline like metal to a magnet. When you live with discipline, you create alignment between your vision and your actions. You create a rhythm of consistency that draws opportunities into your path. You create a lifestyle that can carry the weight of your calling. You may have dreams in your heart right now. You may feel a pull toward a greater future. But hear me. Dreams without discipline are just fantasies. Desire without discipline is just frustration. Only discipline turns dreams into destiny. Discipline also separates you from the crowd. Many people start strong. Few finish well. Many people get inspired, but few remain consistent. Discipline is the difference. Discipline says, I will keep going when others quit. I will remain focused when others are distracted. I will keep building when others give up. And that separation is what positions you for destiny. Discipline also creates freedom. It may sound contradictory, but the truth is that discipline liberates you from the bondage of chaos. You discipline your time, you free yourself from wasted days. When you discipline your money, you free yourself from debt. When you discipline your body, you free yourself from sickness. Discipline builds the boundaries that create true freedom, and within that freedom, destiny flourishes. Do not despise discipline. Do not run from it. Embrace it as the doorway to your future, because every time you choose discipline, you are casting a vote for your destiny. Every choice matters. Every habit counts. Every act of self-control builds momentum toward the life you were designed to live. Discipline may not always feel rewarding in the moment. It may feel like sacrifice, like loss, like struggle, but in time, discipline pays dividends. Seeds of discipline you sow today become the harvest of destiny tomorrow. What feels painful now will produce power later. What feels costly now will create capacity later. What feels limiting now will release limitless opportunities later. So let me ask you, what area of your life needs discipline today? Is it your thoughts, your words, your habits, your relationships, your time, your finances? Wherever discipline is lacking, destiny is delayed. But wherever discipline is embraced, destiny is accelerated. Discipline attracts destiny. If you want to walk in your purpose, you must master your practice. If you want to reach your future, you must regulate your present. If you want to hold the weight of greatness, you must strengthen your foundation. Make the choice today. Embrace the process. Stay consistent. Build momentum. And watch how discipline becomes the magnet that draws your destiny closer. One day you look around and realize you are living in the very future you once dreamed of. There are moments in life when it feels like nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, nothing is working in your favor. You pray and the heavens seem silent. You labor and see little fruit. You push, the walls refuse to budge, and in those moments, it is easy to believe that breakthrough is far away, out of reach, hidden somewhere in the distant future. Let me tell you something with absolute certainty. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Breakthrough does not always announce itself with fireworks. It does not always arrive with a trumpet blast or a sign in the sky. More often than not, breakthrough is already working in unseen while you are walking in the ordinary. You may not see it yet, but something is shifting beneath the surface. You may not feel it yet, but something is aligning in your favor. The very struggle you are facing right now may be the final resistance before your release. Think about the farmer. He plants seeds in the ground, but he does not see results immediately. Day after day, he waters the soil. Day after day, he pulls out weeds. Day after day, he works faithfully even though nothing seems to change. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Beneath the surface, life is growing, and suddenly, at just the right time, the breakthrough appears. The harvest comes not because of one great day of work, because of consistent faithfulness until the moment of release. Your life is the same. You have been sowing. You have been pressing. You have been faithful. Though it may look like nothing is happening, your breakthrough is closer than you think. The roots are growing underground. The foundation is being set. The doors are about to open. The greatest danger is not that your breakthrough will never come. The danger is that you will quit before it does. So many people give up too soon. They walk away in frustration right before the season shifts. They abandon their post on the edge of breakthrough. They stop pressing just when the finish line is around the corner. But you must not quit. You must not surrender. You must not let discouragement rob you of what is waiting on the other side of your perseverance. The pressure you feel right now is often the greatest right before the release. Just like a woman in labor, the pain intensifies before the birth. The contractions grow stronger right before new life emerges. The darkest hour of night is always right before the dawn. Fiercest resistance in your life often comes just before your breakthrough. That is why you must keep going, because your breakthrough is not far away. It is close, closer than your feelings suggest, closer than your fears whisper, closer than your doubts declare. You are nearer to your breakthrough than you realize. Breakthrough is not only about external change, it is also about internal transformation. Sometimes the breakthrough you need is not the change in your circumstances, but the change in your perspective. Sometimes the door doesn't open until your mind shifts. Sometimes the miracle doesn't manifest until your faith rises. Sometimes the blessing doesn't flow until your character is ready to carry it. And while you've been waiting for breakthrough, breakthrough has been waiting for you. But when those two moments collide, your readiness and God's timing, breakthrough bursts forth suddenly. Felt impossible becomes possible. What seemed delayed becomes delivered. What looked hopeless becomes filled with life. Never forget that one day, one moment, one encounter can change everything. A single connection, a single opportunity, a single decision can alter the trajectory of your life. You may have been struggling for years, but it can all shift in a single moment. Breakthrough often comes suddenly, but it is built upon all the unseen moments of perseverance that came before it. This is why you cannot measure your future by your present struggle. Just because it feels hard now does not mean it will always be this way. Just because the doors are closed now does not mean they will never open. Just because you are in the valley now does not mean you won't climb the mountain. Your present condition is not your permanent position. Breakthrough is closer than you think. And when breakthrough comes, it doesn't just affect one area. It overflows into every area of your life. The financial door that opens may also bring peace to your home. The healing that arrives may also ignite your faith. The relationship that is restored may also unlock your purpose. Breakthrough is not a trickle, it is a flood. It is not just survival, it is overflow. Breakthrough is not earned by perfection, it is received by persistence. You don't have to be flawless to see breakthrough. You just have to refuse to quit. You don't have to have everything figured out, you just have to keep moving forward. Breakthrough comes to those who press, who persevere, who push beyond the pain and hold on through the process. So if you are weary today, let this be your encouragement. Don't give up now. You are closer than you think. If you are discouraged, let this be your reminder breakthrough is on the horizon. If you are doubting, let this be your assurance. God is working in the unseen. Your labor is not in vain. Your tears are not wasted. Your waiting is not pointless. Every step, every prayer, every act of faith has been building toward your breakthrough moment. Hold on, press forward. Stay faithful, because your breakthrough is not just coming, it is almost here. And when it arrives, you will look back and realize that every struggle, every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every lonely prayer was worth it. You will see that the waiting was not wasted, the pain was not pointless, process was not punishment. It was preparation. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, closer than your doubt suggests, closer than your fear imagines, closer than your past failures predict, closer than your present struggles declare. Don't quit now. You are standing on the edge of something great. The door is about to open. The answer is about to arrive. The breakthrough is about to manifest. And when it does, your life will never be the same.